If you're familiar with Sonos, you know that they're a very well-known, well-respected audio brand. They make a lot of high-end, amazing sounding speakers, subbars, and subwoofers designed for home use. But one thing that they've actually never made before is a set of headphones. But a few years back, Sonos actually released two patents that outlined the designs for just that. And these patents got a lot of people excited because Sonos is very well known for things like sound quality and focusing on consumers. And considering how bloated the ANC market is nowadays, they have a pretty good opportunity to release something that could stand out and offer a unique experience. And according to their patents, this was their exact plan. But the months went by, people were speculating, Sonos was making new developments that really seemed to indicate that they were focusing on headphones, but then all of a sudden, all that just kind of disappeared. No one was talking about them anymore, no more developments are being made. They almost just kind of seemed to fall off the face of the earth. But rumors have been starting up again in recent times, and it does look like they could be releasing very soon as a high-end competitor to something like the AirPods Max. How do they plan to do this? Well, according to the original patents, Sonos is planning to not only give them a unique design like the AirPods Max, but possibly even a heavy focus on things like features and especially sound quality. According to the patent, Sonos is planning to incorporate two speakers in each ear cup, along with support for Wi-Fi audio, which could indicate the possibility of Sonos planning to incorporate lossless audio for better sound quality. These patents also showed that they were planning to add things like microphones and also processors on the inside, which could indicate the possibility of a focus on noise canceling. As far as controls go, Sonos seems to be kind of experimenting a little bit on whether or not they go with things like physical or touch controls, and the patents themselves do outline a few different options like touch sensors and knobs on the headband. But Sonos is also reportedly working on their own smart assistant that could be designed specifically for controlling music, and possibly not even just on the headphones, but throughout the entire ecosystem. As far as ports go, the original designs outline the possibility of a USB-C port along with a line-in port that could also double for charging and not just audio, which is kind of interesting because I don't think I've ever seen that on a set of headphones before. One of the more interesting features that I think is going to have a lot more people talking about is called Sound Swap. And this was a feature that was first introduced on the Roam speaker from back in the day, and if this made it onto the Sonos headphones, then what it would do is it would allow any sound that's playing through the headphones to a nearby speaker. Kind of similar to what Apple does with the HomePod, where you can take your phone, whatever music is playing on it, put it near your HomePod, and then it would transfer the music from your phone to your HomePod. Now, it would definitely make a lot of sense for this to be sort of a key feature because Sonos is supposedly going to target people who already own a lot of Sonos products, so that may mean that the Sonos headphones will be integrated more with the ecosystem, and that will be somewhat of a main focus. Now, up until this point, I have focused mostly on the features that were outlined in the patents, but that actually wasn't the only thing that they had, because they also had two possible designs for what the headphones could look like. So this one that you're seeing right now is sort of a cross between the Sennheiser Momentum 3s and the Bose NC700s. They have these sliding arms that can connect to the ear cups on the outside using a pivoting joint. This design, on the other hand, it almost looks to be a bit more modern traditional in a sense. They kind of remind me of something like the Bowers & Wilkins PX7s, and they look a bit more traditionally shaped compared to the other options. But they still keep these sliding arms like the other design, and instead of connecting to the back, they instead connect to the side. Personally, I think that the first design is a little bit bolder and probably stands out a little bit more, while the other design is a bit more traditional in a sense, and I think it would definitely fit better within the rest of Sonos lineup. Let me know what you think. Now, it seemed at this point that Sonos was dead set on working on a set of headphones. At the very least, they had all the details in place, and all they needed to do now was just act on those patents and release an actual set of headphones to the public. But even with everything they had in place so far, it turns out that Sonos prep work was far from over. Turns out that about a year after the initial patents, Sonos bought a controlling stake in RHA, which is a UK-based audio company. And this kind of brought up an interesting question. If Sonos was working on a set of headphones and RHA was a company that focused more on earbuds, why would a company like RHA be of any use to them? Well, several months before the purchase, Sonos published another patent outlining a possible design for a set of earbuds. Specifically, the patent outlines some possible ways that these earbuds could approach things like charging and battery life. For example, one of the case designs showed the top plates of the earbuds effectively forming the top and bottom of the charging case, while another design showed the plates facing down in a charging cradle. But what's even more interesting is that some of the designs outline the possibility of the earbuds operating using detachable battery plates instead of just batteries, and these plates could be swapped out once they run out of battery and need to be recharged in the charging case. And this, combined with the acquisition of RHA that I mentioned earlier, seemed to be kind of indicating that Sonos was looking beyond just headphones and possibly even expanding into other forms of wearable audio that could expand the lineup. But this actually wasn't the only acquisition Sonos made, because a few months after they bought RHA, Sonos acquired a tech startup called T2 Software. T2 was working on a Bluetooth codec called LC3, and this was basically designed to give better sounding audio using lower bit rates, which are effectively the speed at which your phone sends music to your headphones. And in theory, a device that used LC3 would have better sound quality while also using less battery life, so it was a lot more efficient than a lot of other Bluetooth codecs that phones tend to use. And this gave a lot of support to the initial rumors that the Sonos headphones, and possibly now earbuds, would have a big focus on sound quality. It already seemed that they were planning to integrate things like Wi-Fi audio to allow for lossless audio, but by integrating LC3, then they could possibly even allow for better sound over Bluetooth to kind of close that gap between those two technologies to some extent. Now, it seemed at this point like everything was pretty much just kind of set in place. Sonos had their technology protected by the patents, their designs and their lineup seemed all laid out, and they had new acquisitions that would help bring these products to life. Everything seemed set, and all that was left was a release date. But unfortunately, that never happened, actually until recently. So as these patents were coming out and acquisitions were being made, rumors began to go around about possible release dates. And at one point, Sonos had even announced plans to enter new product categories and even teased a launch event for new products. And when this came out, people were pretty sure this would be when the Sonos headphones would finally be released. But unfortunately, they never showed up. Instead, we ended up getting products like the Roam speaker and the Ray soundbar. And after this point, things just kind of began to go quiet. We never really heard any new rumors, there was no more information, and for a while, it seemed like we never really heard from them again. But there's still good news about all of this, because it turns out that in November of 2023, it was rumored that the Sonos headphones may finally have a solid release date in April of 2024. And according to these recent rumors, they may end up releasing for a starting price of about $500, which would directly challenge something like the AirPods Max. Now, that may sound like kind of a high starting price to pay for a set of headphones, and I think the AirPods Maxes kind of prove that, but Sonos products are typically priced a bit more in the premium section, and since they plan to target them toward existing customers, and this could end up being a popular option among Sonos users and fans. That being said, there is no word about whether the earbuds mentioned earlier would end up showing up, but if the headphones do make a show and sometime in April, then this could pave the way for a set of earbuds in the future. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you doing so. And if you want to watch more, be sure to check out this video right here, and I'll see you over there. Adios.